Everybody's pretty active. We had some very high level initiatives to add to our team, to add to our leadership.
We're busy. I mean, there's a lot of work going on. Everybody's doing something. It's been good. It's been real good.
That investment's really starting to pay off, man. I think we ended up hiring 12 to 15 or bringing on 12 to 15 energy management program graduates.
The need for people and then the day rate conversation. I feel that it's finally gone to that point where they're hearing it from everybody, that they understand, and internally they're trying to hire folks for in-house positions and they can't find anyone.
Our focus on now are how can we get a better product coming into Dudley Land Company so that it provides a cleaner product going out of Dudley Land Company? How can we provide better data? How can we operate more efficiently? And that's where we are at this stage of the game.
Land insights, market trends, industry experts. Welcome to the Land Department Podcast, the state of land and energy as we see it.
Oh, man. Guys, it's good to be back together. How are we doing?
I'm so glad we don't record the first part of our conversations.
Yeah.
What a mess.
We wouldn't be on air.
Oh, man.
It may not be in jobs.
It's not like our YouTube is monetized, but if it was, it would be demonetized.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. Very easy.
Oh, man. No,
Well, summer's towards an end here.
Little mid-year roundtable, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was summer like for you, Brandon? What did you do this summer?
Man, I'm just a taxi for my kids. Me and Lindsay both. That's how what all summer was. It was sports and running them around like crazy. But everybody else in the same boat. So we didn't get to really see many people, but they wouldn't be able to see us anyway because they were doing the same thing. So, but it was great. Took a little vacation to the Bahamas. That was fun. And obviously the sports stuff is a blast. I love it. I love it. My kids love it. And it's better than them sitting in their rooms on their phones, their iPads. So
I don't know how you
keep them
avoid
busy.
that. Yeah.
I have 2 high schoolers now, so that's kind of crazy.
You got a driver now, too, huh?
Close, couple weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm nervous as hell. Yeah, I got a lot to be nervous about, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Your
Steve,
car
did you move
insurance
houses
just
again?
went- Your car insurance just tripled.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a raise.
Steve, did you move again this summer?
No, we did not move again.
How many remodels have you had since we had the last roundtable?
Better yet, how many are planned?
Planned is probably more correct. We did look at a piece of property on the weekend that we rescinded our offer because the asking price per acre was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But beautiful piece of land that you had to build 3 more houses on.
There you go.
Well, you're going to need a compound, man. I mean, you're going to need room for all the
Seriously.
girls.
All these girls, it's just nothing but softball. We did an Alaskan vacation in June, so that was fun. I don't know if I would do it with children again. That 8-hour train rides and being a floating like prison for a couple of days, it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes their kids that much for, that many days and hours. It's just,
Team days is a long time with your family.
oh, God. Mercy.
And then, Brent, you've been on the tractor, right?
Oh, dude, I've been tractoring it up, man. I've been living my best life. I've been listening to Taylor Swift and running my skid steer, and it's just been great. I'm kind of past the sports. I got same like everybody else, kid stuff. The only thing I'll add is that not only are you a taxi driver, but you are a sponsor. So I'm fully living that life with all the kid stuff. But yeah, good summer. I've been out there playing outside, doing country stuff. So I've been happy. It's been
That's
good.
great.
Good summer.
Well, we got
I got
lots of
videos from Brent.
What?
Sorry, I was just saying videos from Brent on skid steer chewing up trees and bushes.
Yeah, just giggling. Just
Yeah.
giggling.
Well, we got a lot of things to talk about. Let's just really quick do a company update. Mid-year, things are going well. We've got some new people joining the team, a lot of more work coming in different industries. Brent, why don't you lead us on that?
Yeah. And obviously busy year. I think that's no surprise to anybody in the business. Everybody's pretty active, but for us, we had some very high level initiatives to add to our team, to add to our leadership, pipeline, to kind of bring some of those people in that could help carry the load and have accountability for the work that we're doing, the projects that we're doing. And, really starting to see the investment in that over the last 12 months for us. It's been a big part of what we've been doing. But that investment's really starting to pay off, man. These guys and girls that we brought in are really coming into their own. They're getting very comfortable, and we're seeing it in the results with our clients. You're getting repeat business. Projects are going smooth. We do check-ins with clients, man, really good feedback. So that's great. And that just kind of goes to kind of some of our history. I mean, we've kind of always done that. It's just there's been periods of time where we hadn't had the opportunity to do that. And so when we have these peaks, when we really start to see activity boost, it's a great time to really add to that pipeline. So that's been a big effort of ours. A lot of good results from that. Got a mentorship program going. We started a utility group. We brought in some really key hires there. We'll probably unpack that a little bit more later, but got Dudley Utility Services coming up, and those guys are in, and we're getting them going. All in all, activity is good. We've had to put a little bit more attention. The back half of the year is going to be on like in-house, the back of the office. When you've got increased levels and increased activity, it puts a strain on the support team. So, the accounting group, HR, all those things that, that team does a great job, but when you pack a lot on them, it's a lot. So now we're starting to think strategically about how those departments look if we continue to grow and as we're supporting these other businesses. So, all in all, things are rocking and rolling, man.
Yeah. Steve, what are things like in the Northeast?
They're busy, man. We got 100 of them out there and everything. It's short of forward their resumes over there. I've never been in a spot where I've turned down so much work, to be honest. And I don't know where competitors probably won't turn down work, but I think we've been able to maintain some of our new clients just because of our transparency and honesty of what the market is right now.
Yeah. Brandon, you seen similar?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a great point. I mean, your capacity is what your capacity is, and so we work hard to do that. That's part of the team growth. But yeah, I mean, it's paying off just being a little bit more selective. Mid-Con, Rockies, about the same as our last podcast. We're busy. I mean, there's a lot of work going on. As these guys said, our competitors are in the same boat we are. Everybody's busy. Everybody's doing something. So it's been good. It's been real good.
So let's talk about like kind of the shortage. We mentioned the mentor program. I want to talk about day rates too. Everybody's at capacity, kind of, right? If they're doing good work, and we are struggling. Yeah, I don't want to say everybody, but Dudley at capacity in a lot of spaces. We've got to be able to fill the pipeline with new people. Tell us about the mentor program, kind of what the vision for that is, and also, is that the solution? Like, what else needs to happen? So, Brent, why don't you share about the mentor program?
Yeah, I mean, we've all had this conversation in the business, right? There's this gap, and it's very reminiscent. The good news about all this is that there's a playbook, right? We've been through it. If you've been in this business 20 years, you've kind of been through this, and we're at that season. I feel like in the space where, the landmen that are still in the business are all working and very busy, and so we've got to fill that pipeline, and so. We've talked about it for a long time, and we talked about it for long enough. This year, we said we're going to put it in action, and Steve has really run with that and brought in what we call our team of teams within the company of key managers from the different regions where we felt we needed to really add and where there was opportunity to add. And long story short, we built out a protocol, a training program that really is made up of, let's say 100 checkpoints. If you're going to be a 3-year landman or a landman that's capable of standing on his or her own, these are the things that you need exposure to. You don't have to be an expert in them, but you need to be aware of it and know that that's something that you need to consider and know when to elevate questions. So we built that protocol, and then we reached out to our team, our landmen in the field, and polled them to see who would be interested in being a mentor. And we got great response from that. We were selective about who we sent it to. We kind of knew who we wanted to mentor, people that would join our company. And we had, again, great response from that team. I mean, I think we rounded out about 20 who we thought would be really good mentors for us. And then once we had that established, we had a curriculum, so to speak. We had mentors in place. Then we really turned our focus to, hey, we want people to join Dudley Land Company, new people in the business. And so we had a big push from recruiting, and we got a great response there. I think we ended up hiring 12 to 15 or bringing on 12 to 15 energy management program graduates. They
Nice.
graduated within the last, this year.
Yeah.
Or the last 6 months, and they have been absolutely killing it, by the way. But had a good blend of them, and then other trainees, people that came recommended, they referred to us, really good other candidates, and we built that pool together, and we started that program. What was it, 2-3 months ago? We're probably 2 months into it.
Yeah, a little over.
Yeah, the thought being it's a 6-month program, and the way we have it structured now is each trainee is assigned to a mentor, and that mentor is responsible for working with them day in and day out. And we're compensating our mentor. That's a big part of it as well. It takes attention and time. So we're making sure that we're taking care of the mentors. They're working with the mentees. We brought in old Russ Paul. Russ Paul's coming in to help us again to the rescue with our program. He's administering the program. And really, it's just he's just a great guy. He's been in this business for a long time, and I think it's real important to kind of instill some of those just high level qualities in these impressionable people at this point in their career. So Russell's helping us administer that, and we're having weekly check-ins with mentors and mentees, with bi-weekly follow-ups with the team to measure progress, and all in all, it's been a great success. We're again 2 months in. We've got 4 months in the 6-month program. Or 4 more months left in the 6-month program. But the plan is, as we move forward, as we get through this first group, we want to keep going. And, it's all in all, it's been really good. And it's been good to see that plan actually come into action. We talked about it for a long time.
It's nice to have our clients backing us on those things as well. The ones that do back us, thank you. Couldn't do it without their sign off. And ultimately it's providing experience and a great potential career to these energy management students that have come out and either maybe not found a job right away or don't know what they really want to do at that juncture. So they get into this and they can learn, and hopefully it sustains the field landman pool for a while. I mean, as Brent referenced to, 24 years ago, we all got pulled into this because there was a landman shortage, and Tom Havenstry put together a training manual and test and course and brought hundreds of landmen into the business over several years. And those landmen went on to be career landmen. They went on to be brokers. They went on to be in-house landmen. Really rejuvenated the profession. Don't know where we would be without that. So it's important for us to carry that on, and although it's modified from its original form, it's working out really well, and the mentees tend to really like it and enjoy the work.
Up in Tim Jackson, I think every manager in the Northeast is out of one of those training programs from way back then.
Yeah.
And we still
Pretty
have
much all of us
still
are.
a number of our field guys who have been with us for 15, 17 years who came out of those classes back those days.
Yeah. Brent, where do you see this scaling to in terms of the mentor program, and what's like the long-term vision of it? Is this something that you see other brokers doing or any other companies providing?
I guess it'll continue as long as there's a demand, right? And I can say from a company standpoint, it will continue as long as we can support, bringing those people in. We're committed to it. We're really working with our clients, and this is a great platform for us to really get the word out to our clients about what we're doing. As long as we have client support, I think we've all seen early signs of the potential of these folks and their abilities. They're just killing it. And
what does that look like for client support? Like, what if I'm a client and I'm like, hey, I like this. What does support actually look like? Is it funding? Like, what does that look like?
It's the types of projects that we can put a trainee on. It's structuring MSAs. Steve, I mean, you had a great discussion with a client in the Northeast about, you know, a program and a platform that worked for him. Maybe Steve, share a little bit about kind of how that conversation went from a client support standpoint.
Sure. I mean, we've been talking about this for the past couple of years in these roundtables, and the need for people and then the day rate conversation. And I feel that it's finally gotten to that point where they're hearing it from everybody, that they understand. And internally, they're trying to hire folks for in-house positions and they can't find anyone. So I'm glad it's gotten to that point of, hey, these folks are going to be yours when they're done. It's going to be a 6-month window where there's not going to be as much production that you probably don't want to see. But after that 6 months, now you have 10 to 20 people dedicated to your jobs. So you were helping us fund that mentor and mentee for us to be able to provide you with those folks and the experience on your projects after it's done.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
So it's really, I mean, and let's face it, how the fastest 6 months go, right? I mean, it's a win-win
It's a flash
in our mind. And we know that out of those 10, 20, you're going to have 4 to 5 probably fall out. But if we can continue to do that twice a year, and you can add 40, 50 people to a base in a region, or, the renewables projects, the whatever, I mean, that's a big number. That moves needles.
Yeah, and not only just for us, it's for the industry, right? If you don't have young people coming into the industry, what's going to happen in 10, 15 years? You're not going to have those field landmen to do these jobs and these projects. So it's really, you got to think about it holistically, and that's the way we view it, is we're trying to fill that gap with the new generation that's going to carry this industry forward.
Mechanically, things that we need to do. Some of our service agreements, they're tiered based on years of experience with rate schedules, right? I've had a conversation this week about, all right, I need a 0 to 3 year category for trainees, and it was a great opportunity. I explained to them what we're doing and how it's structured, and that we're doing it responsibly. I think that's kind of one of the things with clients and brokers is they don't really see behind the curtain. They see desired results, hopefully, but they don't really understand, when they hear, hey, I want to bring on a trainee, their mind immediately goes, oh, they're just hiring some kid off the street, throwing him in the courthouse. Well, that's not a responsible way to train someone. And I think, what's been very successful for us is when we can sit down and say, this is the thought we put into it. This is the process. This is the plan. This is how we're administering it. This is investment we're making as a company, to support this person and train this person, to Steve's point, to where in 6 months they're capable of fully standing on their own and delivering product for you. I think that's what's the important message, if there's any message to the industry, is that, training someone isn't just hiring them and throwing them out there. It's being responsible. We've got a wealth of knowledge in our space. Engage them. People want to teach. They want to share, and they want to pass it down. And if you do that responsibly, I don't think any client, at least the conversations I haven't had a client that says, you know what, no, I don't want trainees. But we have to do our part to do it properly and be stewards, I guess, of the process.
Yeah. Well, and so then that comes to the next part of it, which is, along the lines of your MSA, it's the day rates. And we've talked for a couple of years now in a variety of episodes, whether it's this roundtable or even if it's with the president of the APL, about day rates and how it's just been stagnant. Brent, just a month ago, you had a love letter that you wrote about the shortage of the field landman in our industry. And it got a lot of traction on LinkedIn. Where do we stand? Is it improving? What is it like? What do you see starting to trend for day rates? And what's the next update in that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing movement, positive movement. We see positive regionally. We still see some hesitancy, right? Some parts of the country are more behind it. Other parts aren't. They've been slower to adopt, though we are seeing some movement. Other parts of the, certain parts of the country, it was already very low. So there's a lot of movement that we need to make. But all in all, I mean, I think I know safely we can say we've been able to get our landman pay rates up. I mean, we're able to pay our contractors more than we were a year ago. and that's from client support, right? Have some clients that don't support it, and they're going to get what they pay for, and I think that's just the reality of it. But all in all, seeing some positive movement. We've got some work to do. I still see some positive movement. Still doesn't necessarily pay the bills for people, and I think I'll continue to stay on that. And I think there's more conversation that needs to be had, really about education and awareness of what it really takes for an independent landman to survive. You know what I mean? People don't have an understanding of paying your own taxes and paying your own insurance and providing your own 401k and, like, I don't know, taking a vacation, like what that actually costs a landman in the field. So I think there's a lot more discussion to be had to fully articulate that and get those rates up, but seeing some movement.
I think what Brent said earlier too about, peeling a curtain back a little bit. A lot of our clients, I'd say the majority of them, don't understand our costs, and they don't understand that they go up exponentially every year, and how much we're being asked every year, more and more compliance wise, and those things cost money. We're not in business to break even.
Yeah. That's a big part of the conversation as well. It's just saying, hey, I need more money. That doesn't do it. That doesn't. We've tried to do that. I mean, the industry's tried to do that for 20 years, and you see where it's gotten us. So I think the only way is to have open discussion and really try to equate it to, running a business. A business has to make a reasonable profit. It's in our mission statement. We will run our business efficiently and effectively, and only if it returns a reasonable profit. And that's just what a business has to do. To Steve's point, insurance costs, benefits. I mean, we're in the age of AI. You're expected to be, staying on the forefront of that. Well, that's time and money, and I think there's probably where the conversation's going is like an understanding of what's a reasonable margin, as a percentage. And I think that's probably the conversation that we need to have is how does the land profession, what's an apples to apples comparison? Is this, how does it compare to the real estate business? How does it compare to margins in the legal profession, right? Attorneys' fees have gone up, by multiples of what landman day rates have gone up. They're a service organization just like we are. But they've done a much better job of, those are businesses. They run those companies like businesses. And so I think that's where we need to go as an industry, and we'll get there. Again, it's more about understanding, this is why I need to raise my rates. This is what, an acceptable, reasonable margin should be, as a business. And likewise, we have to be responsible in how we are stewards of those raises. When you get a day rate raise, that money goes to the landman, right? And that's how it should work. So a lot more discussion. It's a complicated thing. The reason they hire brokers because they don't know how the hell shit gets done. But in this case, I think we need to continue to, show behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned AI being kind of expected at this point. But Steve, did you think that we'd be where we are with AI 6 months ago? Like, is at the beginning of the year where you were like, oh yeah, we're just going to be running around like crazy?
No, and I'm kind of scared about the next 6 months, to be honest with you. And I don't think any of the three of us on this call right now are the number one user of AI. We kind of wish, Brent joked, we wish we'd go back to 2004. It's kind of scary what it can do and how fast it can do it.
Yeah.
And also, what's scarier to me is how people are adopting it and thinking it's gossip at this point. This gets into the conversation of our landman, our contract landman using it. But, it is a powerful tool. It is a great tool. At this point, though, it still needs oversight. And I think that's what people need to remember. And now maybe a couple years down the road, maybe not. But right now, you really have to watch what you're doing with it and then double check it afterwards. But it is a tremendous tool, and we're learning a lot about it. Of course, workshops with you, Khalil, which have been fantastic. So it's going to change the landscape of our industry for sure at some point.
It reminds me of in high school when the math teacher said, crutch, not a tool. And you're like, you'll never have a calculator in your hand at all times in the future. Like, oh shit, yeah, I do. Um,
But better than a calculator.
Yeah, come to find out, and I could take selfies.
I was telling Whitney today.
The number one complaint I get from the managers, though, is you instantly know when a slacking landman is utilizing it and not doing what Brandon said and doing the double check and the quality control.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
want it
that
to
saying,
become.
like-
I don't want it to become like this. I'm just going to throw it through here and then dump it off and not look at it.
Yeah, that's the tendency. It's like that saying, with great power comes great responsibility. I mean, I think that's really what it boils down to. And capabilities versus adoption. I mean, we all know it's very capable, and we're seeing, glimmers of, signs of what it could be and where it might be heading. I think the biggest challenge in front of our industry is how are we going to do that responsibly? And what is responsible use of AI? Nobody knows. Nobody can say it, especially in our space. And I think I really try to get a sense of the network, of our industry from time to time. Like, I don't know, would you drill a $12 million well on a AI ownership report or an AI generated abstract? Would you buy a lease? Would you buy a $100,000 lease on an AI generated ownership report? And that's a simple question, but that's 80% of what we do day in and day out as landmen. And when you have day rates depressed and you have all these things, I mean, people are going to find efficient ways to get work done so they can do more work, And so the tendency is to just adopt these tools and be comfortable with, oh, it's good enough, or, oh, it's a computer. Everybody tells me it's the smartest, greatest thing, and it's more intelligent than the smartest human on earth. So it's got to be right. And I think that's the hard part. We're in this period of time where we're seeing flashes of what it can do, but none of us know, how to responsibly use it. I mean, I get on my soapbox for days about, all the products that are out there. Everybody's seen, SaaS platforms just make gobs of money and sell for 10x multiples. And, everybody sees Inverus gobbling up every SaaS platform out there for the last 10 years. And, they hear, XYZ oil companies paying $250,000 a year for their SaaS platform. So, a lot of landmen and a lot of tech bro dudes are trying to build landman platforms to eliminate the title process. And every one of them is pimping that product to Dudley Land Company and every other, competitor of ours or counterpart of ours in the industry. And I applaud innovation. It's one of our core values, right? And it's great. The predicament it puts us in as a company, and I think a lot of other brokers are, leaders, people whose chops are on the line with our clients, is how do we responsibly use that? How do we govern it? How do I know if an ownership report comes to me for quality control checking? How do I know that it's AI generated or not? Do I disclaim that it's AI generated or not? What are we getting from the field? Those are all questions and things that we need to work through. I mean, I got a note out of one of our standardization meetings, our AI team of teams, that, man, we really need an AI policy. Like, what can we do and what can't we do? And I've tried to draft the damn thing 3 times, and every time I draft it, I'm like, well, this is old and stupid. It's it's there are a lot of serious questions that we need to ask, and if we're not careful, it's just going to turn into the Wild West, and we're going to really lose sight of that quality that's so important. That's a challenge ahead of us from my standpoint.
Argue that we're in the Wild West. I mean, based upon what you're seeing from some people, we're well into it. What's like, Brandon, what are some of the more egregious things that you see out there, like very specific things that you might hear from somebody getting or whatever?
Well, I think just the egregiousness of it is that people, as Brent was saying, people think it's more powerful than it is. And tomorrow it will be. And the next day it will be. And the next day it will be. If you're not using it in a responsible way, and then relearning and learning about it every day, if you're not putting time into reading about what's going on, how is it changing, what's the difference between this model and that model, and this AI and that AI, you're going to look 3 months down the road, you're going to have an old product that's making mistakes. Or, what was the other thing? Like, also open AI, you're putting this into, most people that are using this are using this in some open AI free version of AI. Well, you're putting that information, confidential information, out there, as opposed to if you pay for it and it's closed loop. You're signing a contract with a broker, you're signing a contract with a client that has confidentiality language in there, and you're just disregarding that and throwing all this data that's confidential out into the whatever, the cloud, or out into the universe. And that's not, we don't need to be doing that. If you're doing that, stop and pay per subscription. Yeah.
So how do you control that?
You-
Like, you've got these contractors.
know.
How do you know if they're putting it into the free version? How do you police that?
I think that's one of our initiatives that we're talking about right now, coming up with a policy, putting it into our contractors' contracts. We're talking about potentially approved AI services, what that approved AI service, what level you have to be at. It's all things that we need to think through and put out there. So if you're going to contract with us, we're not going to tell you how to do your job, but this is what if you're going to work for us, this is what you have to do. It's almost like having a computer. You have to have a computer, right?
Yeah.
You can't work for us without one. Well, now you also have to abide by these AI rules, and that's going to change. Industry standards going to change on it. Our clients are going to have a say in that. So it's something we all need to be thinking about.
Yeah. Steve, what do you hear from the client side? Like, what are clients saying about AI? Are they asking, are you guys using it? Like, what's that look like?
I haven't really had those conversations of, are you using it or how are you using it? I think most of the folks I talk to, it's still general. This is what we do internally to, make life easier on reporting and weekly tasks. I haven't had many direct conversations of how exactly you're using it in your work product.
Yeah. Brent, are you getting pushback from clients when we're looking at MSAs? Like,
It's not necessarily pushback. I probably get a few more questions just because you and I've talked about it, publicly more often. But I get people asking. I tend to find that the people who are tasked in house with, like, hey, figure out how to make AI work in our company, are seeking me out, and we're trying to have those conversations. And really, it's just about, what capabilities, like, where do I even point this? And then when I do point it somewhere, how do I establish the appropriate context, to be able to get the results that I need? Is it a decision-making tool? Is it an agentic support operation? Most of what we've seen, I guess the early success has been just in analyzing piles and piles of data, from an in-house standpoint, consolidating data. I do get it, but it's all curious. Nobody said, hey, we don't want you using AI, or no, you can't use AI on our projects, right? We haven't had that yet. I think as the client base, the end user, the customer, becomes more informed and gets to the point, they're all in the same boat we are. Like, what is the policy? Hell, I don't know. What can it do? I think once they get a clearer picture and really start drawing the lines internally, that's obviously going to trickle down to us, and then we're going to have to adapt to it as an industry, as a field profession.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's the cool thing is that every kind of tentacle of our industry, you're a field landman, you're going to find a solution that works for a field landman. If you're running a business like we are, we're going to gravitate toward things that we can help. And, the things that we're doing internally are really centered around quality control. That's a big thing. That's what it can do. It can take and analyze a product and poke holes in it, and what we're really striving to do, and the things that our focus on now are, how can we get a better product coming into Dudley Land Company so that it provides a cleaner product going out of Dudley Land Company. And for us, that's what we've chosen to do. We get approached a lot of times by guys building title examination products and things like that, and that's great, but that's a product for a field landman. As a business, we're thinking about how can we provide better data? How can we get better outputs from that data? How can we more efficiently, move things around within our workforce, within our ecosystem? How can we operate more efficiently? Things like onboarding contractors, and how can we make that experience better? Building tools. How do we keep A players working, and how do we organize people between all these managers? Like, that's where our focus has been, and I think each part of the business is going to find their own way, and ultimately will land at something that's acceptable.
I think
Well,
the one great thing though is there's a bunch of us, right? There's a bunch of 40 to 50-year-old landmen, and we're all trying to figure it out at the same time.
Dude, I ain't figured out nothing.
I don't know nothing.
Oh God, I told Khalil the other night, I was like, how some people are just good at math and other people can draw? Like, I don't feel like some AI, we've seen it within our company. Khalil, we've seen it.
Yeah.
As you start to expose people, man, you see that they've got whatever that is that clicks for them, and they can see it. It's all there in front of them. Oh, this is how I'll do that. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Others, you don't have their propensity. You're just not inclined to it. Duh, yellow pad. But that's really what it's about. And I think, for us personally, that's what we've done as a company. We were deliberate about exposing our team to AI. And really, that was an interview process for who has the propensity, to really think in the way that AI requires you to think, and then put those people in places to try to solve the challenges that are in front of us. And that's where we are at this stage of the game.
I think something to think about is, with AI, there's a difference between using AI and building with AI. Using AI to write better emails, to organize your information, to synthesize large swaths of data, whatever it is, that's wonderful. But as soon as you start building something that is going to go from like me to Brent, now you've got to start thinking about security and drifting and version control and all these different things. And there's a really good analogy of like, hey, we built this tool that now we have a new CRM. We're not paying Salesforce. We're going to just use our own CRM. It was built for free or whatever, basically nothing with tokens. And it's free like a puppy, not free like a beer. Like, if I give you a beer for free, that's great. Drink it. See you later. Here's a puppy, Brent. Go take care of that thing for the next 10 years. Take it on walks, pick up its shit, all that stuff. And that's essentially what's happening.
2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. And so it's true of this. You start taking these people that are like really good at using AI, and you're like, okay, now start building some stuff for us. Well, if that starts getting shared, well, now you've got to maintain that stuff. And you have to did you budget maintenance? And is this senior landman that's extremely valuable to the company needing to spend 30% of his time maintaining something that's going to change the next 3 months because it models better? These are the questions that people really need to be thinking about. And so I'm of the opinion, you guys know this, but people need to be using the hell out of AI, but they don't need to be building with it. You have someone who's a product builder, who's in this every single day, like you said, Brandon, knows the models. Like, that's the person that's building. So anyways.
That's a big focus of ours, is if we're going to build something, it has to integrate into our systems. We're a big systems company. I mean, we've talked about databases, and we've talked about Kudu, our land system, and we talked about Kudu, not as much, but Kudu is also it's the administration of our business as well. And everything we build has to fit into that, because it has to be systematic, and it has to be built to the quality that it doesn't require this constant babysitting. That's the challenge.
Well, yeah, because then Brent, I built this really cool spreadsheet, and it allows me to like calculate the tracks and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm using that, but then I'm not putting it in Kudu. And now the reporting that you get's not accurate. And now I've got this bespoke system that's just on my computer that nobody, or maybe I share it with another guy too. And now you don't have the right data. We're operating in a silo. I mean, it can create a real mess if you don't
Yeah.
approach it the right way. So,
Yeah. That's probably the best thing. You start to see siloed workflows,
whoa.
with this great power people can build these great things, and we see tendencies of it. We'll get some of these real strong users on a project and they'll start from scratch and they build this slick workflow, and man, it's popping and everything's going, and that job ends. And then those people disperse. And then we start another project, 2 states over, and they don't have their workflow. And so you end up you see these, like, it's like keeping weeds at bay. They just sprout up everywhere. We're trying to grow a tree, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No, that's good.
Everybody's dealing with it, but it's
Yeah.
it's evolving for sure.
Well, I could obviously talk about AI forever. I want to shift gears just a little bit. We're about to go into, you three of you are about to go into annual planning. And I wanted to we've already talked about peeking behind the curtains a little bit. I want to dive into showing more of what happens behind the scenes at the leadership level at Dudley so that people can understand the amount of intentionality that goes into why you're doing the things you're doing, things like the mentoring program, things like the investment into Dudley Utility Services and Dudley in-house services. So walk us through it. You're about to, in a month or less or so, you're about to jump into annual planning. Where are you going? What do the days look like? What are you thinking is going to be the focus for this year? Brent, why don't you kind of start?
Yeah. So, we really break our year out. We plan a year out, and the the planning involves, establishing goals and stuff, but we schedule our year. Every quarter we get together. And we get into the end of the quarter, the end of the year, which is kind of where we're staring at now. September is our quarterly meeting to, do a check-in on, okay, where are we on our objectives? What are we looking at for Q4? How are we going to finish the year strong on the things we set out to do? But October rolls into, all right, now we're in intelligence gathering mode. So October is when we have our annual managers retreat. We bring in all the leadership from the company, not only operational leadership, but our back office, our HR manager, our programming manager, GIS manager, accounting, finance officers, project managers, directors. We all get together, and it's a 2-day, 3-day ordeal. And really what we're trying to do is, from a leadership level, is extract as much information from the field, from our business as possible. And we go through a series of exercises, and every one of them seems weird until you look up and you've gone through 5 exercises, and man, they're all pointing to the thing. You start to see trends of, like, all right, this is the biggest pain point. This is the thing or things that we need to solve for. And so October's big for that, for us. And that's just the time of the year. Every company could do it at a different, time of the year, but we tend to roll like that. And then we take that information, and then that leads to a December planning process where we get together, me, Steve, Brandon, our business coach, Pamela, and our directors this year. It's the first year we're bringing our directors in and involving them in the process. And we're really excited about that. But that's when we come together in December to discuss the pain points. What are the problems? What are the things we need to solve toward? What are industry conditions, right? Do we feel like industry is a place where we can afford to devote attention to X, Y, Z, or are we going to be in damage control because we're on a downturn? Really assess all things, and then that forms the plan for the next year. And Brandon, why don't you kind of take us from that point to how we execute throughout the year?
Yeah, I wanted to just add, like, and the majority of this planning is to, level up our service and our product.
Yeah.
It's not just for Dudley Land to, grow bigger and all that stuff. It's more about servicing the client. So pretty much 95% of our objectives have that in mind. And once we have the yearly plan, that's when we'll also set our team of teams for different things. We'll put together, for instance, we were talking about the early adopters of AI. We threw it all out there. We got those guys that clicked in their head. They knew what to do. We identified that, put them together, and then they worked through those objectives. So at that point, after yearly planning, we line out our quarterly goals and our annual goals. And then we update that every quarter. We sit down, we talk about how that quarter went, what are we going to do the next quarter. We do that within our teams. It's part of our discussions in our weekly huddles. Everything in the objective of continuing down that path. There's been times that we plan something and like, okay, well, we've got to modify that a little bit. So we'll adjust when needed. But ultimately, everything's to make our managers better, make our product better, make our service better. We also do leadership. Leadership meetings for our
development.
managers, training
Yeah.
through Pamela. We also have, the last year or two, I think we've started doing AAR meetings.
after action reviews.
After action reviews. So it's really just how do we provide a better service and a better product to our clients? And that's what our goals are. And we actively work on those weekly, really.
Yeah. Within each priority, everyone, there's an accountability. So, and all that is documented, all that's reported and broadcast out to the company as well. So, and a goal is not just a goal without an owner. Each goal, each objective has an owner. And really, it's an accountability thing. And I do a monthly update that's not a newsletter. The newsletter, not a newsletter.
The no newsletter.
Yeah, the not newsletter. It's really about, broadcasting down to everyone in the organization. This is what we're doing. This is where we stand. And I have to eat crow. We're not meeting an objective. We got to eat it. Because we've said we were going to do it, and everybody knows that we were going to do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't make it, but you have to really be deliberate about what you establish so that it's a highly achievable goal. And it's just a matter of attention and focus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So
We're going into year 5 with Pamela right now. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Really?
think it's our
5 years.
5th year. Yeah.
Khalil, our first 2 years, we're like, what is going on? We have no idea what is she talking about. And then in the past 3, I found it interesting that all of our pillars, our yearly and then ultimately quarterly goals, are all under pretty much our core values or something to do with one of our core values. And we've kept them that way and realizing that most of our pain points are within one of those. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's a deliberate process. We just did, Brandon mentioned leadership development. Well, that's a regularly occur. It's a monthly thing that it's an investment we make to try to help our managers and our leaders be better, be multipliers, not restrictors. And so just yesterday, we had we'll call it a boot camp or training camp. We've talked about one of our initiatives was to bring people up and identify leaders and put them in places where they could succeed and be multipliers. Well, so we brought them all in and they're kind of witnessing all this stuff, but they don't really know, like, how's this fit together? Why are we doing this? What is this based off of? Well, so yesterday it was 4 hours. We had to pull them away from projects and they were feeling the heat, man. I mean, these are operations folks. These are department heads. They feel the heat of day in, day out things coming, but I got to give it to them. They all committed the time, and we spent 4 hours just going over fundamentals of like the principles that we use to run our business. You know what I mean? Terminology, why we do these things, how important the people function is, how to be a multiplier, how to create multipliers, how to take a C player to a B player or a B player to an A player. And just laying some of that groundwork so that as we're working through these things, they understand the why. Any A player wants to know why. And so, we did that just yesterday and got some good feedback. And it's like for Dudley Utility Services, Steve for like the renewables team, that was big because those are a lot of new people coming in our company. And the more you can invest in them, the better leaders they're going to be, the better support they're going to give to the field landman, the better product they're going to give to the clients.
Yeah.
And, so we do a lot of stuff in the background. I say I want to fish more. There's no way in hell I'll have enough time to fish because there's actually a lot of things that we're doing in the background.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always cool to see the intention that goes into that. And when you say annual planning, it's not just we got together in a room and said, let's try to do this. but it's months of deliberation. It's really listening to the team and the people that are on the ground running projects to see how we can improve as a company and level up. And those things stack up over time, right? Stack up the wins. So
That's right.
let's pivot to probably the most important topic for us. But who's going to finish top in the college football playoff? In that, what do we got here? We got LSU, Arkansas, Penn State. I'll be OU.
Can we talk about basketball?
Hold on,
please.
I checked my Venmo before this, Khalil. I still don't see one from you from 2 years ago.
From 2 years ago? What is
Steve,
it?
don't forget. That is Steve, don't forget.
Steve, don't forget. I'll go back and listen to the episode. I don't even remember. But I'll
Khalil's going
send
to
you.
query AI after this.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, go check Land Department 011. Okay, so
Penn State has a cupcake schedule, so I feel
Okay.
bad.
what do you got? You got Marshall, you got
Buffalo?
Temple,
I think we have Buffalo, Temple.
Buffalo, Wisconsin,
Oh, wow.
Northwestern. Finally, you get USC on October 10th. Then
which
you've
is
got
Nobody cares about USC anymore.
we have
No,
one,
I
we have
know.
one more game. Here's my thought process on our schedule. We're gonna somehow beat Michigan, and then we'll lose to like Maryland. Just some stupid loss.
wait. You have a new coach. Who's your coach?
Matt Campbell.
Oh, from
Man, I was
Iowa
really
State.
we were all really sad to see James Franklin go. Man, he did a great job.
I mean, he just won like 11 and 12 games the last
I
couple
know,
of
like, why are you
what took you to the playoffs?
Can't
I mean,
win the big game. You can't be a good coach and not win the big game. Come on.
Oh, Lord.
Like, does Nick Saban ever lose the big game? No.
No, he
There's
didn't.
only one Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's only one.
except for when Coach O beat that 8 with Joe Burrow.
Brent, you've got your
Yeah.
LSU purple on today. You got Lane
That's right,
Kiffin in the
man. I got them
building.
Tigers. I
You
got
got
the
a-
Tigers, son.
$200 million salary cap or something.
Something like that. I think we spent 40 million this year.
I think it's actually legitimately 70 million. But
Yeah, I think we'll make 20 million in beer sales alone. So I mean, it's a no brainer, man. We'll be slinging po' boys and boudin balls for fundraisers out in the parking lot. But it's gonna be good, man. I'm excited. All the
You guys-
Tigers are excited.
you guys open with the other Tigers, the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, man. That's like the last 3 or 4 years. It's been a big game, so that's usually how we start our season off terribly.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
go.
we got a tough schedule.
You guys go Clemson, Louisiana Tech, but then it's Ole Miss, Texas A&M.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Then McNeese State, then Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn, Alabama, Texas,
Wait.
Tennessee, and Arkansas.
Yeah, so big showdown for Brent and Brandon in
Yeah.
Thanksgiving weekend.
I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. They finally moved that game back to the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's where it should be.
Exactly where it should be.
That's
It's
where
a
it
great,
should be.
It's a great game, great atmosphere.
Are you going to that, Brandon?
I'm counting it as the only win on our schedule.
Oh, yeah.
To tell you a little bit about Arkansas, we've got a whole new coaching staff. We've got 85 new players. I think before this, they had 86 scholarship spots. Now I think they raised it to like 105 or something like that. But we have 80 new players, and the other 30 players that are on the team, I think we got them out of like some middle
JUCO.
school or something. Who knows? I mean, so I'd much rather talk about basketball.
Can I ask you guys a question? Like with this NIL stuff, I don't even know who our starting quarterback is. It's like, I mean, I couldn't tell you 5 names on Penn State's squad.
It's terrible. We got the same way. All I know is I feel like LSU is on the borderline of being the new Texas. We're just like, we got the number 1 recruiting class, the number 1 NIL class, and we still just lose games because we're a bunch of prima donnas. I hope Coach O and Kiffin don't allow that to happen.
If they could just collide at middle field and just like both collapse and go away, I'd be okay with it.
Wait, Brent, is Coach O back on staff?
Coach O's back, baby.
No way.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Roll Tide, F
Well,
you.
hey,
You know what I'm saying?
Watch out
son?
for those cheerleaders.
Oh, you better hide your cheerleaders and your aunt.
Oh my
Coach Joe's
goodness.
coming, baby. He's
Okay,
coming.
so who do we have winning? Okay, let's do this. National championship, is it SEC or is it Big Ten? Who wins it?
Big Ten.
Man, that's
It's not going to be Penn State, but I think it's in the Big Ten.
It's a Big Ten.
I think it's
feel like
Michigan's
it's
pretty
Just
solid.
remember, Indiana won it last year. Like,
Yeah.
that was not on anybody's radar.
The
nobody.
worst team historically,
Yeah.
like ever, basically.
And went
Won the
undefeated.
national championship last year. So there's hope for Arkansas.
So,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
there is. I think the SEC is going to continue just deplete itself. I mean,
Yes.
they're just eating each other, and now that they can pay, you don't have the depth. And one thing when you're playing this kind of schedule, you got to have depth, and they're all spread out. And, it's going to take these teams half a season to get right because they've got 85 new players on the team and a new coaching staff. So I think it gets hard for some of these teams to get there and make it through that playoff. And you're gonna have a team, I don't want to pick on Penn State, but like a Penn State who's maybe not been challenged as much through the schedule, and then they're gonna
They're
be
not as beat up.
they're not as beat up, and they're great, probably be a great team. Indiana, we all know it. Like, watch that game, they were dominant,
They were
man.
good.
That was a
They were
good
real
team.
good.
You know what I
Yeah.
missed hearing about, though, since college football went away? I've missed hearing about Bill Belichick and his 12-year-old girlfriend. Like, I'm really excited for that to start again in 3 weeks.
Hey, she's
Is he
13
still in
this
North
year.
Carolina?
She's
Yeah,
13 now, Steve.
I mean, it's been so
Is he
nice.
still
not
there?
hearing- Yeah, yeah, he's still there. I guess he got rid of one of his GMs or something. There's all kinds of drama around him.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
How's Mike Vrabel still have a job? That's what I want to know.
well, he didn't do anything illegal, but
Immoral, maybe a little.
yeah, ethics aside.
I mean, Penn State knows all about that.
Listen, come on. It's been like 20 years. Can we stop this?
That was actually illegal.
I like it. Physically. Actually, it was physically illegal,
Yeah.
which is the worst kind of illegal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Poor guy died. I mean, come on.
What's OU looking like? How we looking at OU this year?
I don't know, man. I think we'll be all right. I think that we have so little expectation on us because I don't know, Texas, LSU budgets, like all this kind of stuff. I just don't know that we're going to be able to hang. We lost a lot of players, although they did bring that 5th-year option back for some guys in the 22 class. So I think people were like, bring them in. Let's go. Like, go get them.
26 years old. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that is like Arkansas went through that and they analyzed it. There was one player that would be eligible. Everybody else had already transferred out or graduated
Yeah.
or whatever. There's one player we could bring back from 2022. That was so dumb.
So I think we'll do all right. I think that we'll finish ahead of Arkansas. I'll put.
Oh, 100%.
I think.
I mean,
I feel good
Mateer
about
looks like he's gotten a new doctor. And
he looks.
have you seen him?
Yeah, he looks pretty good, but he made some questionable decisions. So I don't know that it's all has to do with the throwing motion and all that kind of stuff. So
dude, he looks like he should be in a bodybuilding competition right now. I mean,
he's massive.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
if
you
see
should
a
go look at
picture
a
of him.
photo of him.
Got them
Guys,
good
I
pep
want to
times,
get
dog.
you. I want to get you up here for a game. The new stadium edition. I think they just announced it's going to be bigger than Michigan.
Wow.
It's
So more erector set.
It is massive how tall this new west side of the stadium that they put on. It's nuts.
You,
with
you
you.
couldn't build that here in Oklahoma. The wind would blow it over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
tornado would eat half of it or throw a trailer house on top of it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is massive.
They call it the
is
big
outrageous.
house. We might have a big house in the middle of the stadium.
Yeah, like an actual big
An
house.
actual.
An actual house.
Dorothy gonna come running out.
Dorothy Gale.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool. Well, guys,
Well, I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too. It's been good to see you guys. We'll do something at the end of the year, beginning of the year. Enjoy the college football season.
Let's go.
Yeah, y'all enjoy the college football season.
Peace. Be a
See you guys.
landman tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
Later.
See y'all.
Enjoyed today's topic? Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Learn more at dudley-land.com. See you next episode.